Mempertahankan negara dan rakyat adalah keutamaan kerajaan dalam menangani krisis COVID-19 dan negara masih mempunyai ruang untuk terus merangsang ekonomi dan memperkasakan rakyat jika sesuatu di luar jangkaan berlaku untuk tempoh akan datang. Menteri Kewangan Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz berkata, beberapa peningkatan defisit melebihi sasaran sebelumnya adalah tidak penting dalam keadaan semasa, asalkan kerajaan mempunyai perancangan teliti dan keupayaan untuk membayar semula hutang dan menurunkan nisbah hutang berkenaan. Tokoh perbankan ini genap 3 bulan menggalas tanggungjawab besar mengetuai perbendaharaan negara.
It is hard, tapi this is, I think, if we look at what we've done so far, dengan especially the government side, prihatin was the first test lah, if you ask me. We just came in 1.5 weeks, PM kata let's have the package. I said, bila nak announce ni, PM? Like 5 hari. So prihatin was done in 5 days, right? And it was, you know, that time memang I think 3 hari tak tidur lah. But this one we were given a bit more time, so we had a 3 weeks plus to do this. And the good thing is we had a lot of engagement. I think we engaged more than 100 bodies, not 100 people, 100 bodies. So at least 400-500 people we did. And then when we engage, kita tak buat yang macam satu dewan, every time different, by kita pecahkan by sector, by different interest group, because kadang-kadang dia susah nak discuss if it's too wide kan, dia punya topik. So that's the other thing. So yes, masa penjana tu we had a bit more time, but we wanted to do it properly, where we get as much input as possible from outside and then from inside also, within inside the government, because we realized that this time round we needed to get because our economy is run not just by the government. Because people talk about economic recovery plan, sebenarnya yang jayakan economic recovery plan ni ialah private sector. Jadi bajet defisit kita yang akan dijangka naik sehingga 6% lah selepas pakej penjana ni. Sebelum ni pada bajet 2020 tu bajet defisit dijangka lebih kurang 3.4%. Kan. Lepas tu habis prihatin, bajet defisit dijangka lebih kurang 4.7 hingga 5%. Sekarang ni mungkin dalam lingkungan 5.8 hingga 6% ya, dengan pakej penjana. So soalan pertama tadi, ni tinggi sangat ke kan? Jadi jawapan saya tidak, kerana kita kena lihat whether we can afford, whether kita dapat menampung pembayaran hutang negara. Hutang negara yang paling tinggi, bajet defisit yang paling tinggi ialah pada paras 6.7% pada tahun 2009. Itu semasa global financial crisis ya. Di mana kita telah buat fiscal stimulus juga dan menyebabkan defisit kita naik hingga 6.7% lah. Kita punya hutang debt to GDP, hutang ke KDNK masih lagi bawah 55% ya, dalam lingkungan 52% sekarang ya. Jadi lepas penjana ni mungkin dia naiklah, akan naiklah, dan naik dengan sekali dengan prihatin juga akan naik lebih kurang 55 ya, ataupun 55.6%. Jadi ini masih lagi kita masih lagi boleh afford lah. Tapi ada statutory limit ya, 55%. Jadi kalau kita lepas 55%, dan kita akan pergi ke parlimen lah untuk mendapat approval lah daripada parlimen. Kita akan ada statutory limit 55. Dan satu lagi ialah dari segi pinjaman tu, kita ada pinjaman limit for foreign debt ataupun mata wang asing sebanyak 35 bilion ringgit. Sekarang kita dalam lingkungan 15% lebih rendah daripada tahap ceiling kita. Jadi kita sekarang lebih kurang 30 bilion ringgit. Tetapi pakej prihatin dan juga pakej penjana ni tidak akan kita tidak akan meminjam mata wang mata wang asing lah, foreign currency borrowing lah, ya. Semuanya dalam local currency. Strategi fiskal sebelum ni ialah 35 bilion. Dengan paket penjanaan ni lagi 10 bilion akan disuntik dari segi fiskal lah, walaupun dia 35, tapi 10 bilion tu adalah suntikan fiskal. Ya, jadi total jadi 45 bilion. Ceiling tu akan depending macam mana kita spend. Kalau kita rasa dia akan mencecah 55, kita mesti mendapat kelulusan daripada Parlimen lah. Ya. Jadi kita akan bentangkan ke Parlimen lah. Tapi sekarang ni masih ada banyak ruang lah, 52 hingga 55.
So dengan katakan suntikan fiskal ni melalui ketah-ketah.
Semuanya dari, ada yang 10 bilion yang baru ni, penjana ni semuanya dari MGS dan MGII. Yeah. So kita, when we look at this, we have to always, kita selalu kena fikir worst case scenario, kan? Jadi dalam worst case scenario ni kita dah lihat ada beberapa negara yang dapat second wave, kan? Of course we hope doesn't happen to us lah, kan? Tapi we must always assume worst case. Jadi your question mengenai adakah we have the space, kan? Fiscal space especially untuk menangani COVID-19 kalau dia berlarutan ataupun jadi lebih teruk. The answer is we have, I mean, as a responsible government and as Ministry of Finance pun know that we must be prepared for that. So there is also provision that we want to make. To me, yang going above deficit number tu is not so important. What the deficit number is, because first we need to save the country and the people, kan? Tapi yang penting tu ialah we must have the commitment to tell the rating agencies dan juga rakyat that we will bring it down back after economy dah stable, right? Because we see every country in the world have to do that to protect the rakyat and the economy, right? So we do that, tapi we must have a plan after that. Tak boleh kita biar dia 6-7%, katakan now 5 to 6, kan? Katakan worst case, then we have to go up higher because of more fiscal stimulus is needed. Tapi we need to show a plan, and credit to Malaysia, we have done it before. Semasa di 2009, masa global financial crisis, masa kita punya deficit mencecah 6.7%, we actually brought it all the way down to 3% now after that. In fact, we stayed down around the 3%. Between 4 to 5 years, we got down. Right? So when we explain to the rating agency, dia faham, and dia tahu kita boleh buat. But now the focus is to make sure we protect our people and our economy for the immediate term. But once it's stabilized, we need to show the plan. Kita tak boleh kata okay, let's not do anything now. Tapi we have to slowly drive there, because the deficit ni depends on the both borrowing and the GDP lah. It's like borrowing of any company lah. So kalau kita punya revenue naik, so GDP naik, then of course naturally deficit pun akan turun, right? So at the same time, what we have focused on, if you notice, kan, package prihatin dan juga package bencana, banyak yang suntikan fiskal ni one off, kan? So dia tak akan jadi lagi next year, insyaAllah lah. Tak tahu, unless next year pun teruk, kan? So it's one off. So the borrowing should go down lah next year, because if the economy improve, banyak initiative tu tak akan ada lagi, kan? So business is normal, people are getting better, and business also getting better, economy is improving. So deficit borrowing should go down, but at the same time revenue ataupun GDP pun will also go up, right? So then insyaAllah the deficit will naturally go down slowly lah. Kalau tidak, kalau kita tak protect the workers and the businesses, it's going to be difficult when the economy recover. Katakan sekarang ni kan macam domestic tourism. So PM dah announce you can open up. So banyak tengok semalam all the hotels Langkawi 1000 apa tempat atau Cerating. I tried my luck lah Cerating saja because dekat kan tak dapat. You know, so you know I mean because so but my point is kalau it take time to reopen tau. Because if you had not support some of these industries, they are closed, completely closed down. Katakan to restart take a long time. So then how do you recover? Your recovery will be slower, right? People nak spend tapi nak spend macam mana? Hotel tak ada, tourist spot dah tutup. You know, it takes 2-3 months to restart because workers dah tak ada kan. So that's why we must keep the capacity intact. So that's tourism example lah. Similarly for factories, that's why we had to reopen quickly when the healthcare is better, because kalau kita tak buat tu, it will take too long, then our recovery pun lama. Memang recover tapi lagi slow lah because capacity dah tak ada. You know, skill set people dah hilang. I mean, company tu dah nak restart takes a long time, sometimes 2 to 3 months. So kerajaan memanglah kalau you tengok daripada segi defisit tu, depending on how you want to look at it masa that point of time. So to me, what is your target? So kalau target you 1% defisit ataupun tak ada defisit, then of course dia kata kerajaan tak boleh lah. You know, what is your target? So to me, you got to be realistic. Satu is we are in crisis. Secondly, even if we're not in crisis lah, masa tu kan belum crisis lagi kan. We are a country that is still developing, right? You need to look at the ni because we have to be realistic. Kita punya revenue base tu apa? Revenue base kita, like it or not, close to 20% is oil, right? Right. So we need to diversify that also. So to me, as long as our money is spent properly, the borrowing lah. And the borrowing kalau boleh is on DE ataupun development expenditure, di mana kita akan return akan masa panjang is good to the country, is okay. But if we spend on operating expenditure, that's where we need to be very careful lah, because that one makes less productive, right? Then, tapi still, to me, if you ask me, no, we have the capacity, and I think budget deficit of 3%. Or slightly more than that, if it's invested in the right areas, it's okay, right? And we have the capacity lah. As you can see, when we engage the rating agency, in fact, dia orang pun kata, this is the time to stimulate the economy. Katakan kalau kita tak spend langsung, means masa prihatin atau tak ada penjana kita tak spend langsung, I think our economy will not be able to recover when the whole world recover. So kita must remember the effect to us is not just in Malaysia, and it's global, and we are part of the global economy, like it or not lah. So it all depends juga dengan ekonomi global. Malaysia punya trade to the GDP is more than 100%. Jadi if you look at the export sector, we open it first. Kalau you tengok, we open actually gradually. Yang 4th of May tu banyak industri, tapi sebelum tu dah another 8 industri sebelum satu. So the export sector, although kita buka and we said it can work 100%, tapi dia still tak 100% capacity because the demand is not there. So now the challenge is, macam kedai, sebenarnya kedai restoran lah, kita dah kata boleh buka, tapi the demand is not there because people not going. So similarly for exports and other goods, because the world economy is also slowing down, so dia punya demand lah. So if you ask me how fast we can recover, the two things. One is depending on the demand side, both domestic and global, right? Kalau orang masih takut nak keluar dan sebagainya, memang take slower lah, and that's natural. The second one is how bad is the industry affected, right? Kalau some companies yang dah tutup, it will take longer. But that's why we did the wage subsidy dan sebagainya, then all this free interest-free loan lah, especially for SME, then they will be able to recover faster. SME ni penting, as we know, they still generate about 38% of our GDP, okay? Dan dia juga dari segi pekerjaan 70% daripada jumlah employment atau pekerjaan di Malaysia ialah diberi oleh kerana SME.
Tengku.
I think you have to look at in totality lah. Jadi ada some tu they have not spent the whole thing. Okay, the one example is initially we budgeted 10 billion ringgit untuk bantuan prihatin nasional, right? Of course at that time itu include M40, B40. Data B40 kita bagus, macam kita ada BSH. Tapi data M40 tu kita minta application baru. So we assume X number lah, tapi it's more. Jadi instead of 10 billion now, kita spend 11.5 billion. Yeah? 10.8 million people got it. So that's one number. Tapi overall, it's still within that number because there was ada pengurangan some other requests lah. Other areas there some didn't fulfill that lah totally. One being the wage subsidy. And we had 13.8 billion, tapi with the prihatin so far it's still less. Tapi it will get back to there. That's why we put inside this one also. Yeah, but so it's all within the 45 billion. It might be slightly plus one minus one setengah initiative lah, but we kept it to that, yeah, the total. Yeah. Okay, so the balance itu was always about life and livelihood. So masa livelihood ni, masa bencana is to continue to protect the livelihood. So far the wage subsidy as at end of May 2.2 juta pekerja telah dapat menikmati subsidi upah ni, di mana gaji sampai RM1,200 ialah dibayar oleh kerajaan. So that means 2.2 million people is benefiting this. I'm not saying that we save 2.2 million jobs, tapi I think we save quite a lot of jobs because I think without the subsidi upah ni, banyak syarikat yang tidak dapat continue employment for some of these workers. That's one example lah. So the other one is, if we look at the penjana, kita ada juga hiring subsidy kan? So kita akan memberi pertolongan kepada syarikat sebanyak 800, 1,000, depending. Below 40 saya rasa RM800, above 40 is RM1,000. We pay on top of the salary tu, kita bayar so that people will recruit. I think that one berapa? So 1.5 billion kan?
Yes.
About 1.5 billion allocation. Hiring incentive. Jadi of course kita ada 2 billion lagi untuk retraining, upskilling. Ni akan sedikit sebanyak menolong pekerja yang got retrenched ataupun hilang pekerjaan lah. So dia retrain, upskilling dan buat job matching. Hopefully during that 2-3 months dia akan dapat pekerjaan lain bila dia dah been reskilled to the relevant skills that company are looking for today lah. So that one will be announced in detail nanti. The Ministry of HR dengan saya akan look at this closely. Pekeso, HRDF, banyak lagi agensi lain akan be involved. So we will be announcing the details very soon lah. We are going to include even Bank Negara, SC, sebagainya. So because we want to cover as many sektor pekerjaan as possible, our plan is we don't want to train people ni, tapi tak ada orang nak. So kita akan cuba work with the employer lah. So what skill you need? It could be simple skills tau, you will be surprised. And then the other one yang we also need to accept is the gig economy ni. So sometimes we reskill them to do self-employment jobs also. Doesn't mean you skill them so that dia dapat pekerjaan, tapi you skill them so that dia boleh bekerja sendiri in the gig economy. So that's the other aspect that we need to train them lah, how to get on the digital side. Try our best lah, tapi because we don't know how many people were affected. You've seen the unemployment number kan, officially Jabatan Statistik Malaysia ataupun Department of Statistics Malaysia on by the first 3 months tu unemployment rate was 3.9%. Sebelum tu was 3.3%. So 3.9% ni is about 610,000 workers. Before that about 508,000 workers. So that's in that 3 months dah 100,000 orang hilang pekerjaan. Ini statistik oleh Department of Statistics lah, right? So tapi dia punya forecast ataupun dia punya jangkaan dia akhir tahun ni mungkin naik sampai 5.5%, right? 5.5%. So we need to make sure that we try and our best to help employers keep the employee. At the same time, we also have to accept that the economy is as it is, not many companies can, walaupun dengan subsidi upah dengan bantuan daripada kerajaan. Jadi kita now kena bantu mereka untuk retrain and reskill and try and find a new job. And then we also have to remember a lot of people are coming to job new workers juga. So kita nak companies create this new role, right? Especially for the new economy. Dan kita akan bagi dia hiring subsidy supaya dia akan ambil pekerja-pekerja ni lah. So kalau tak ada prihatin dengan tak ada bencana ni, saya rasa lemburnya lebih besar lah, because syarikat will say, I just let go lah, save money kan. Tapi we want them to, of course, keep the employees as much as we can. That's why, and they also want juga. We can see that they want, because if the economy recover, tiba-tiba tak ada orang, they take time nak recruit lagi, nak reskill orang ni lagi kan. So they will keep as many as they can based on their requirement. SME ni ada, to me ada 4 level lah. Satu is micro PKS. Ini pun ramai juga ni. Then ada SME, right? SME ni small enterprise, medium enterprise, right? And then satu lagi sebenarnya dalam SME tu ada slightly bigger MTC, mid-tier companies lah. Jadi they all need different help, right? Kalau dari segi SME, which is a broader sense, excluding the micro SME, PKS ni, when we did the study, cash flow wise, 50% of them won't survive after 1 month. 50%. Jadi that's why we came up with all this SRF so far dah 10 billion ringgit loan to SME telah given. That's 80% guaranteed by government at 3.5%. Micro SME so far masa we given about 700 million ringgit. We announced lah, kita announce peruntukan 700 juta ringgit daripada 500 daripada BSN, 200 dari Tekun, kadar faedah 0%, right? So and then for the bigger companies, dana jamin, where we guarantee 80% of the loan of the bigger company, pinjaman sekurang-kurangnya 20 juta, right? So all this sedikit sebanyak hopefully will help the SME dan some of the big companies, MTC ni pun boleh pinjam 20 million to help them on their cash flow, because the rate is very low, and some of them micro SME tu lagilah 0%, ya. Dengan lepas tu kita bagi lagi grant, ya. Macam micro PKS ni kita bagi grant prihatin khas sebanyak 3,000 for them to restart, because we know dia orang tak ada duit nak restart, nak berniaga balik, satu nak restart, nak beli balik all the working capital to start the business pun dia orang tak ada. So kita peruntukkan 2.1 bilion ringgit kepada semua micro PKS, up to 3,000 ringgit they can ask from us, which they have, and so far kita dah menerima permohonan lebih kurang 650,000 saya rasa, tapi yang ada permohonan lah yang diterima. Database semua okey sebenarnya. Yang dia orang komplain tu ialah golongan M40 hari tu, dan kita dah bagi dia pelonggaran untuk appeal. So lepas appeal ni we have relooked again, kerana dia kena nak go technical ni, BOT semua okey. M40 ni because first time buat, ya, tapi kita kena very careful pasal banyak scam, ya. Jadi yang kita tak nak ialah dia dapat tapi dia tak layak. Jadi salah satu cara masa tu yang kita buat was kita link to SSM. If you look at the whole global supply chain, tadi ada sebut pasal global supply chain ni memang dah disrupted, right? One is because of the COVID, the trade war between US and China, and exacerbated ataupun lagi-lagi teruk pasal COVID ni. So banyak negara ni, the whole supply chain tu dia tak boleh rely from, China, Europe, US, semua they need to be rerouted. So kita sebagai negara Malaysia, we are strategically located to help China in supply chain, karena even the Europe supply chain, because we have that stability, right? And we need to fight to get that spot. So this tax incentive ataupun investment incentive ni is one way lah to do it. We, of course, every country has their own strength. Tapi for us, what our strength is actually being part of ASEAN. So when you talk to all the other ASEAN countries, it's going to be key that we try and say that, we should make ASEAN one of the hub, right? Because of the uncertainties in other countries, and then the whole supply chain can be broken up because of the trade war dan sebagainya. You try and be placed here. So of course, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia included, will have their competitive advantage. So if we can work together, that will be better. But of course, competition being competition, we need to make sure that we focus on areas where we are strong at, right? One thing we have learned from this crisis, and we actually know this all along, is we need to go up the value chain, right? The dependency on cheap labor dan sebagainya is not good, because we will lose out, right? Because whatever you say, Vietnam will have cheaper labor, and the different skill set. So kita, China, even now China go to Vietnam because their labor is even cheaper than China, right? And even they have gone automation. If you look at their factories, they themselves have gone, more advanced than many countries. They're at par with Europe and US, kan? Jadi kita as Malaysia also need to do that, right? That's why if you look at Penjana, is trying to prepare, although it's a short-term plan, but it's planting the seeds to get Malaysians to think this is an opportunity for our country to do the restructuring that we need. So harapan saya untuk Penjana ialah untuk is the execution, the implementation is good, right? Because the niat kita memang nak menolong, right? Ke rakyat dan juga syarikat-syarikat yang terbabit. So to me, the only way to tolong everybody is to make sure implementation tu dilakukan dengan betul lah, right? Because there is no point talking about this. And the other harapan saya adalah this plan is a dynamic plan, right? That means we must be open to criticism and feedback. Kalau ada areas yang we can improve during these 6 months, right? Include it in and see. Tapi of course must be fair to the rakyat and the government. So to me must be open-minded lah. So Penjana is a plan, tapi we have good ideas that we can also help. We add on to Penjana. Just like prihatin kita dengar, and ada isu, dan jadi prihatin.